Democracy. In this module, you will learn about forms of government, types of democracy and their differences, characteristics of democracy, success factors of democracy, merits and demerits of democracy. There are 5 different forms of government, namely democracy, monarchy, dictatorship, military dictatorship and communist government. Of all these forms of government, democracy has a greater number of merits than demerits. Democracy believes in the potential of the common man, which makes it a popular form of government. Now let us take a look at each of these forms of the government in detail. Monarchy is an old form of government, wherein the king heads the government. The monarchy in which the king makes the laws is known as absolute monarchy. Dubai in UAE, Kuwait and some other Arab countries are ruled by absolute monarchy. Constitutional monarchy is a monarchy in which the king and the queen are nominal heads and the laws are made by the elected house. Japan and England are the countries ruled by constitutional monarchy. Dictatorship is a form of government wherein one person makes all the rules without the input from anyone else. Some famous dictators are Adolf Hitler in Germany and Mussolini in Italy. Dictators enjoy unrestrained power over the people and gives less importance for democratic values and principles. Military dictatorship is a form of government wherein the political power rests with the highest military authority. Earlier it was practiced in Pakistan. Under this form of governance, people are denied the freedom of expression, the freedom to criticize government policies, and to form associations. Even the media and the judiciary are controlled by the military. Communist government is a form of government wherein the country is ruled by only one political party, that is the Communist Party. Communism is practiced in China, North Korea, and Cuba. Under this form of governance, production is nationalized and there is no scope for private partnership. The word democracy is derived from the Greek word demokratia, which means rule of the people. According to Abraham Lincoln, the former U.S. president, democracy is a government by the people, of the people, and for the people. Some of the countries ruled by democracy are Germany, India, USA, and Mexico. The most important element of democracy is elections. Elections give an opportunity to the people to form their own government. Now let us take a look at the 2 types of democracy: direct democracy and indirect democracy. In a direct democracy, people are directly involved in electing their government and framing the laws and policies. Direct democracy can be practiced only in the countries having a small size and population. Earlier it was practiced in Greece and presently it is being practiced in Switzerland. In indirect democracy, people are involved in electing their representatives through periodical elections. These representatives are then involved in the lawmaking and administration of the country. These elected representatives in turn elect their leader, who is the highest executive of the country. Indirect democracy is suitable for countries larger in size and population, like India and USA. Democracy is a representative government wherein the people elect their representatives in the periodic elections. These elected representatives are in turn involved in the lawmaking of the country. It is a welfare state as attention is given to the welfare of the people on the whole and not to a particular class. Democracy is based on the consent of the people, thus making the people a supreme power, while restricting the government powers constitutionally. The citizens have the right to change and challenge the government, thus making it responsible to its people. A democracy is based on the principles of liberty and equality, and thus it grants the same fundamental rights to all its citizens. It is based on the principle of universal adult franchise. In a democracy, opposition party has the responsibility to check if the ruling party is misusing their powers. It upholds the dignity of the common man. In order to make a democracy successful, the people need to be vigilant and should have an urge to protect the democracy. The citizens should be well informed and educated, which will help them elect a good representative. The citizens and the government should be free from corruption. An efficient opposition party and a fearless and unbiased press plays a major role in keeping the government alert. Efficient, organized, and responsible local bodies also strengthen the democracy. Lastly, a democracy needs to have tolerance and the spirit of give and take in order to become successful in the long run. Now, let us take a look at some of the merits of democracy. A democracy empowers its people to choose a responsible government peacefully by way of elections, thus avoiding the danger of revolutions. It grants the citizens certain fundamental rights for their individual development and protects these rights through an independent judiciary. It is based on the principle of equality. It provides the people an opportunity to be involved in the framing of the laws of the country. Decisions are taken after debates and discussions and based on public opinion. The opposition party checks the misuse of power by the ruling party. Democracy develops nationalism, patriotism, and unity among the people. Now let us take a look at some of the demerits of democracy. Conducting elections is a very time-consuming and expensive process. The uneducated poor are often exploited by the people in power. A lack of qualified and skilled leaders and their ignorance towards economic, social, and political issues weakens the government. When political parties compete for power, it leads to favoritism, corruption, and giving undue importance to the party interest as against national interest. The majority party often becomes dictatorial and suppresses the power of the minority party. The defection of one political party to another leads to an unstable democracy. Discrimination on the basis of caste, the use of money and muscle power, and the influence of anti-social elements also weakens the democracy. And lastly, the lawmaking procedure in a democracy is very lengthy. Let us now recap all the important points that we have covered in this module on democracy.